Hello there, everyone. So, today I decided to test a new format here on YouTube, for it takes me too much time to record and edit these videos. And since I do it for free, I will test shorter videos which I don't need to edit. Let's see how it plays out. My goal is to keep on posting new content here, so I hope it doesn't hinder my success. So, let's go. Today, we will talk about how to delegate tasks effectively right after our lesson on communication, not by coincidence. And we will cover the 5W 2H action plan here. After all, you delegate tasks by communicating with people. That's why it's such a difficult task. In my experience, a big chunk of the errors comes from just the ineffective communication. Hit thumbs up if you want more content related to leadership. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel too. Many leaders delegate tasks that are not even clear to themselves. So obviously between encoding their thoughts and feelings and what the receiver understands, it's bound to have a lot of noise. Or often the person does in a hurry, not taking care of elaborating the message. Task delegation is the art of being able to inform and hand over responsibility for completing a task. Knowing how to properly complete this transfer and explaining what expectations are will be vital in your role as a manager. I see two very common mistakes that leaders make before learning how to delegate tasks effectively. First, they delegate everything without any care because they believe that a leader doesn't have to do anything. Second, out of fear of losing control, they only delegate the simplest tasks that he or she perceives as too operational. So, why will learning how to delegate tasks efficiently help you? Delegating tasks efficiently is not a simple exercise. Successful delegation of tasks requires effort and a certain amount of time to fully understand the mechanisms and especially the advantages that exist in practicing this, but also for your team as a whole. Let's get to know some of the benefits of delegating tasks effectively. I see two general benefits. Your employees will feel better and more empowered, and you will gain in productivity. First, your team will feel much better. Only by delegating tasks well, we will be able to focus on the real purpose of our position as leaders and be the most beneficial to the company. You also be able to dedicate more quality time to your direct reports. They will feel involved in the process, empowered, and thus will have a more initiative to make suggestions for improvement. A good part of what allows people to be proactive is if they feel part of the process. Thus, you instill a sense of responsibility in your team, resulting in greater commitment, participation in meetings, and throughout the process, in addition to increasing motivation. Nowadays, it's noticeable how people want to feel more and more involved in the processes. Second, increased productivity. On paper, your time is very well allocated, right? You plan your routine in a way to be efficient and effective. You have a vision of the process that you are working on, but we know what it's like in real life. It's very common for us to find ourselves drowned in problems and inconveniences, which arrive intrusively. When you least expect it, you no longer know exactly what's on your agenda, what's a priority, and even worse, what your team is doing with precision. Focus on your priority. Did you know, by the way, that priority is a word that originally had no plural? Because it meant first. And there is no way for you to have priorities. The goal is that you spend as little time as possible on what is neither important nor urgent for you. Check out the Eisenhower matrix. You have to think about the concept of leverage. I talk about it. I talk a lot about it in my leadership, my first leadership role course. You, as a leader, have to focus on what will have the greatest impact on your work. Logically, making sales for or with your team will bring in results. But between that and setting up an automation sales structure that saves 10 minutes per sale of your team, it's clear which one will have the most impact. As a rule of thumb, working to improve your team members' output is the highest leverage activity. Cool? When should you delegate tasks? Now that you understand the two benefits of delegating, we need to understand how to know when to delegate a task to a team member. I will give you some very simple questions. At a glance, to define whether you can and should delegate a task, ask yourself, if I delegate that task to that specific person, will it help me to focus on more essential tasks that will have more impact on my team? Are any members of my department that feel comfortable with this task that I want to hand over? Can they provide any new perspective to it? By delegating this task, will it help my team member improve his or her skills? Can this help my team to gain momentum? By delegating this task, will my direct report feel more fulfilled, or can I reinforce my team's mission? If I delegate this task, will I be able to take advantage of it to make my team feel more involved or more motivated? If you answer yes to two or more honestly, you can delegate that task. In order for you to practice and improve your ability to delegate tasks efficiently, you can start with small tasks and demands in which you notice that there is enthusiasm on the part of your member or your team. It can be the design of a presentation, to implement a change in the system, or to serve a specific customer. As you gain more confidence, and they as well, you will move on to delegate more. There is one thing quite common at the beginning of those who are taking on a leadership position. They want to perform as many tasks as possible to get a feeling on how the work should be done. I think this is important, but be careful to not fall into the trap of feeling useless if you're not doing the operational work. Many first-time leaders still have this mindset that they are only useful if they are performing tasks directly or solving other team members' problems. Awesome. In the next class, we will go over the 5W2H model of task delegation and why it's so difficult to learn how to delegate tasks effectively. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel to follow the lessons, like this content if you like the new format or if you think this lesson has helped you, and share it with your colleagues and coworker. Always look both ways. See you in the future.